I'm not saying this movie saved the MCU. Let's be honest, nothing's saving the MCU anytime soon. But god dang, if this isn't a roadmap, a blueprint, a schematic, whatever you want to say, this is how it should be done, right? It's a reverent take on source material. It delivers some fan service. It delivers the jokes that are age appropriate to the rating. It's got all the different kinds of content you think you'd get from a Deadpool team up with a Wolverine. That's the strength of this film right here. This is the kind of summer blockbuster movie comic superhero movies used to be. You know, they get some well-known characters in their proper iterations, they put them in a blender, they spin them all around, they do all kinds of crazy stuff, and then they have the big showdown at the end. You know, not really, it's not that it's cookie cutter, but it's a formula that works, and you don't mess with what works. You put people in a room and let them do what they're good at. Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, they are Deadpool and Wolverine, hands down. These guys know these roles inside and out. It looks like they enjoy doing them. It looks like they had an absolute blast doing this together. The only scene that I'd even approach to spoil for you guys is there's a really decent heartfelt scene, it's a quick one, at the end where Deadpool says to Wolverine, you know, I've waited for this team up for a long time. Thanks for coming out. And it was like, you know, it's okay. All right, that's what these guys have been waiting to do, but these idiots over there at these studios don't think they can make the rating work, or they can't get these guys on the same schedule. Who knows? But this is what they should have done years ago, because we could have been on the third iteration of this by now, which would have been fine by me. I think the $1.5 billion this movie's going to wind up making should have been fine by Disney. Now let's take a look at that number real quick. I think it was the final tally on the thumbnail I had was 440 million global for this. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is big boy, big girl money here, guys. This movie in the weekend outgrossed the entire run of the Marvels. You get that? The whole run. And we all knew this was going to happen. This movie is exactly what you think it is. They stick with the multiverse stuff, which I think is kind of the weakest part of the film. I didn't need to see the TVA at all. I get it. They used it as a mechanism to tell the story. I would have just done something else. Find me the time stone or some shit. I don't know. On that note, people are going to be concerned about required homework to get a lot out of this film. I don't think there's required homework if you've at least been passively following the MCU since its inception. As long as you know who Deadpool and Wolverine are, you're probably golden to enjoy the movie, because the banter between the two, the fights, the effects, the cameos that show up. If you've seen Fox, and specifically Fox superhero movies from back in the day, you'll likely know who all these people are. Where you might not get all the inside baseballs from the industry stuff, that if you follow YouTube channels like The Critical Drinker, Valiant Renegade, Midnight's Edge, like those kind of channels who cover that kind of news, who we try to get into that too a little bit here. You're missing some of that inside spin from, you know, the industry issues with Disney, with how they handle their properties, with the declining quality of what we've seen out of them for the last, 5 years since Endgame now almost. Like, you'll miss out on some of those in-jokes. Non-comic book fans might miss out on a couple of the other ones. There's a clever one in the end. It's a name of a store. I won't ruin it. It's in the background as they're doing their slow-mo hero walk towards the camera. So you want to just keep your eyes up above their shoulders with a marquee above a store. I thought that was pretty funny. But again, you might miss some of those insides. Some of those inside jokes you might miss. But on a whole, what you won't miss is the relentlessly crude joking that Ryan Reynolds brings to the table. It's hilarious. Parents, do not bring your kids. I don't know why you guys keep doing this. I mean, Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool has made the joke several times in trailers, and I think in one of the movies. Like, this isn't a family movie. Just because you see a dude in a superhero suit doesn't mean it's for your 8-year-old. Because some of these things you don't want your kid hearing. Same thing when it goes with the blood and guts. This one spares no expense on the Wolverine shanking. There's buckets of fake blood all over the place. We got some dismemberments and all kinds of other nastiness going on. So you don't want your kid in there checking that out with you. Sorry, just be responsible. Don't take your kid to this. You don't need to see it. Story-wise, again, it is the weak point in the film for me. It's another multiverse thing. They offer Deadpool. The TVA offers Deadpool the opportunity to join the big 616, the sacred timeline. You know, he's going to go over there and be big time, or he could stay in his timeline, which I guess is 10-0-0-0-1-5, and that's about to be downsized. It's about to be pruned by the TVA because they're missing their anchor being, they're calling him, who was Logan in that universe. So of course, Deadpool does Deadpool stuff, and he's got to reset things and yada yada. I'll let you guys get into that. That's where the fun comes in. via the cameos and what Deadpool has to go through. But I'll say this on the subject of the cameos. Bah, high five. This is how you guys should have done cameos in Doctor Strange 2. It's the exact opposite in my opinion. In Multiverse of Madness, we got the Illuminati showed up with a bunch of cameos from people that I guess some people might have cared about, especially the Mr. Fantastic one. We all wanted Krasinski in the role. I don't know how many people were really looking forward to Black Bolt, Photon, or Captain Britain, or seeing Professor X back. I guess that was pretty cool. But they show up and get murked within the first 5 seconds of their appearance for no reason other than plot reason. In Deadpool and Wolverine, you get 2 versions of cameos, and I thought this was clever and it was well done. In the first version, you get 3, 4, 5, however many it was, variations of Wolverine. Some are hilarious, and I'm not going to spoil them, and a couple of them were fan rumored things and fan castings that actually came through. Not ruining that either. So those were cool because it kind of went along their costumes they were in kind of replicated Wolverine comic book timelines, which I thought was cool. We got a good look at that. But then where the more important stuff came in Act 2, where the cameos that happened actually had a point within the story. Like the folks that showed up existed in that world for a clearly defined and relevant reason, and then took action to resolve that status. And I'm trying to be purposefully vague here, but I like the ones that they picked to be cameos, who were they phrased it as, the characters that were forgotten or tossed aside or that never happened. And the never happened is a big one. And on top of the never happened, one of the other ones is fairly big because we have other projects that keep hinting at I'm going to be as neutral as possible here. Keep it as neutral as possible because we have other characters who are referenced as being potential for other things. And if the results of this movie, the success of this movie are any indicator, Feige's got some decisions to make, and I think we could propel some of those other things forward. But not ruin cameos. Kingsley and I will talk about that in our team up video. Movie overall, I've seen it done before. It's multiverse. It's not all that complicated to follow. It is simple, but that's what you want from Deadpool and Wolverine. It's not supposed to be an epic story. It's supposed to be a fun buddy cop, stab 'em up kind of video game on a screen thing. And the reason it works here is because Ryan Reynolds is so damn funny with his improv and all that and the other stuff that he does, where he just goes off the cuff and just it's a stream of obscenities. That all works. And then you've got that balanced on the other hand with Hugh Jackman, who probably couldn't turn in a bad performance at gunpoint. You know what I'm saying? This guy brings 147 billion% to every role he's in, and it shows. And this might be as good an epic emotional performance in the proper scenes and settings as you got out of Logan. He's seriously that good. This is worth the show. This is worth supporting. I think it sends Disney the right message, except they're going to take the wrong message and think that what people really want is just more cameos and more sequels. And no, bro, what we want are characters we know that we like in their proper iterations, not legacy mantle hand-me-down bullshit. We're done with that. We should be done with multiverse. And again, this is going to stick in them. They're going to think this means people want more because this is going to make an easy bill, and that's the problem here. But overall, as far as Marvel and superhero movies go, this is the best thing I've seen probably since No Way Home. It's better than Guardians 3, I think, in a lot of ways, because it is so much funnier, given the R rating, because it is so much funnier. It's an easy 8.5, maybe even a 9. I don't go see things multiple times, really. This is one I'll probably go check out again. I know it's crazy. Movie tickets are like $147 trillion a piece. That's the second time I've used 147. That's weird. I should look into that. But go check this out for all the right reasons. Enjoy it. Let them know this is the kind of thing you want. Leave them ratings and reviews wherever, and then specify the why. It's because the characters you're supporting, not multiverse, not sequels, none of that bullshit. Multiverse needs to die. But that's going to do it for me on this one, guys. I'm going to bounce. Kingsley and I will get together probably tonight, do a big team review. We could do an Avengers style. We'll spoil the hell out of the cameos and things like that. So check out the other reviews that are spoiler free first. Make up your mind, check the movie out, then come and visit us again, and we'll see you there.